The story is told of a guy who's walking along the beach. And as he's walking, he sees a figure in the distance that appears to be doing something strange. As he gets closer, he notices that there's this figure is a man that's picking something up and throwing it into the ocean. Intrigued, he continues along the path, and as he gets closer, he notices that he's picking up these sand dollars on a shore where there's thousands and thousands of sand dollars. He's picking them up and throwing them back into the ocean. So the guy calls out to the man throwing the sand dollars in. He says, "Sir, what are you doing?" He says, I'm throwing the sand dollars back into the ocean." And the guy's like, "What do you mean? This is crazy. There's no way you'll be able to get all of the sand dollars back into the ocean. Why would you even waste your time? There's so many. You'd be here so long to be able to get all of them back." He's like, "I know I may not be able to make a difference for every single sand dollar." And then he picks one up and he throws it into the ocean and he says, "But I'll be able to make a difference for that one." Now, this story is often told when talking about evangelism and talking about how in a world with so many lost people, it can become overwhelming to try to reach all the lost people in the world and how we should focus just on the one right in front of us. But I want to use this illustration today to talk about generosity. See, a lot of times when we hear that word, our mind instantly goes to money. But generosity is so much more than just giving money. It's so much more to that. And that's what we're going to talk about this week. In week 28 of our family devotion series, we are talking about the concept of excel in generosity. And as I said, what we're going to see is that the generosity that God calls us to actually has nothing to do with money, and it has more to do with our heart posture. Let's read our scripture together. 2 Corinthians 8, 5 through 7. 2 Corinthians 8, 5 through 7. They even did more than we had hoped. All right, let's do this. 2 Corinthians 8, 5 through 7. They even did more than we had hoped. For their first action was to give themselves to the Lord and to us, just as God wanted them to do. So we had urged Titus, who encouraged your giving in the first place, to return to you and encourage you to finish this ministry of giving. Since you excel in so many ways, in your faith, your gifted speakers, your knowledge, your enthusiasm, and your love from us, I want you to excel also in the gracious act of giving. I love the concept here of the challenge to excel in generosity. See, we always want to grow deeper in God. And when we think about growing deeper in God, we're thinking about, reading His Word more and praying and going to church and getting involved and serving. And all of these things are great. But when we can learn to excel in generosity, it takes us to a whole nother level in our depth of our relationship with God. What does it mean to excel in generosity, though? Let's make it simple. To excel in generosity means to give and to give generously with what you have. In other words, it's not about the amount that you give, but it's about what you do with what you have. There's so many stories and illustrations we could talk about, but I love the illustration of the woman giving her wages, and it didn't seem like much, and other people were like, "That's not a lot, that's not a whole bunch," but she was giving out of her heart of what she had. And be careful here not to focus on the quantity, because this is all about the heart posture. When we can take an attitude of saying, "I want to give out of what I have been given, and I want to excel and have a heart of generosity in that," it takes us to a whole nother level. But there are things that rob us from giving the best way we can give with what we've been given. And the number one thing that I see that robs us is an attitude of comparison. A lot of times we don't think we can do much, or we don't think we can give much, because we're comparing ourselves to others around us that have so much more. Or alternatively, We think that our giving is special, or we think that what we're giving and the way that we're living and giving our lives to Jesus is unique because we look at others around us that aren't doing a lot at all and we say, well, at least I'm better than them. Comparison can rob us from having a heart of generosity. But our heart of generosity isn't based on what other people have. It's based on what we have been given. I want you to take a few minutes and just evaluate all the things that God has given you. Whether that's possessions, whether that's the life that you have, whether that's the blessings or the home or the school you've been given. Some of you may have great situations, some of you may have terrible situations. But the truth is, with what we have been given, we are expected to be generous out of that. That means our action of generosity may look different from person to person, but the heart of our generosity can be the same no matter who we are. We can give everything out of our heart of what we've been giving and have an attitude of generosity because we know Jesus gave his entire life for us, so we can give back to him by embracing that heart of generosity. And I wonder what that heart of generosity would look like. If we said, I want to give out of what I've been given, I think in areas of our lives where we struggle to really be consistent, or we struggle to grow deeper in our walk with God, if we embrace the attitude of giving out of what we've been given, we'll see that we won't lack in some of these areas. We'll be encouraged to go all in every area. And that's really the goal here. Take what you've been given and to go all in by giving it back to our relationship with God. Let's talk about this concept together in our family discussion question.